Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Well, graduation season is just around the corner, and today's card project features some products that aren't necessarily grad card proper, but I wanted to create some projects that used tools to that end. But I also had a big old hot mess in the process. So I want to show you how you can, well, what's the term? Pivot when things go wrong. Well, let's look at the products first. The first thing I'm using is the Woot Word and Shadow Die. I don't know about you, but I say Woot all the time, mostly in text form, but I figure the children of today, they're a lot cooler than me and they get it. You know what I mean? So there's that. I'm also going to be using this really cute BIXBY background. I've had this for a while and wanted to find a way to use it. It's a really nice size, and I thought this would be a cool way to add some texture to my card panel. So there's that. I'm also going to be using a sentiment from Great Things. Now, this isn't really a graduation proper set, but the things in this set can be used for graduation, like you will do great things. That's something you might want to say to a grad. So, going to use that for my sentiment strips. For ink today, I'm going to be using, well, let's see. I've got Carved Pumpkin, I've got Mustard Seed, and Twisted Citron. 3 colors that I really love to work with, and Jumbo Sponge Daubers. I've also got some Nuvo Glimmer Paste because I'm obsessed with this stuff, and a palette knife. But that's going to be my downfall today. But I digress. Neenah Solar White is my primary cardstock, the 110-pound weight. And then I will be using a little bit of Gina K Designs Wild Dandelion, which is a great yellow. So let's get started. The first thing I'm doing is putting 3 stripes down of color. I want to be able to incorporate the Woot word so that it looks like transitions from green into orange. Very simple, right? No blending required here. It's literally just let's lay down 3 quick stripes in rainbow order. That's it. And once I've got all these down, and just go back over it a little bit. Doesn't even have to be, they don't even have to transition into each other that well, okay? Because we're going to be covering it with glimmer paste. Woot will fit, fantastic. Now I'm getting down to the bottom of my jar here. There's not a lot left. And I really do love this process of laying down a very thin layer over something that you have ink blended. Kind of been testing this out quite a bit lately, and it's a really fun way to add some shine to a project. So I'm just going to wipe that off, and through the magic of a video, I will show you the dried piece, because I had already done one of these off camera. So I do this a lot. I'll do things and let them dry, and it's time saving, right? But that looks pretty good. Now here's where it starts to fall apart. All I wanted to do was take Woot and cut it out. So I pulled my metal adapter plate because I figured, you need that extra torque when you've got something thicker. In theory, this should have worked. I'm going back and forth, and I wanted to show this because, sometimes you're doing something and it doesn't work, and then you feel like all hope is lost. Well, you might not be that dramatic. Okay, I realized very quickly here, okay, all hope is lost. This was not coming out. It did not cut all the way through. So I'm gonna tweak it a little. I'm gonna put it down and turn it so that it hits one of the rollers. But sometimes when you're working on something and it doesn't work, and then you might want to scrap the whole idea. You don't have to scrap the whole idea. I mean, you might have to scrap what you thought was gonna look awesome, because it would have looked awesome had I had the right level of torque. I probably could have shimmed it a little more and it would have been okay. But I ran it through and I looked at the back and I thought, okay, that looks kind of close. So let's see if we can pop it out. Once I started wiggling and popping, I thought, okay, this is good. This is good. We're making progress. And I peeled it up and I decided to bring out my little foam pad, because I do love poking things through on a foam pad, because it just, if you got something delicate like this, it never hurts. Started pushing it through, and I was very hopeful, and I thought, this is gonna happen. This is happening. It was not happening. And as soon as I started to pull, it started to tear, and then I realized this is, well, it's a blank show. I think you know what I mean. And all I ended up with was, woo! That really wasn't, yay me. No need to fret. I decided to hit the drawing board. So here's take 2. Take 2, we're just going to die cut it. We're going to leave it in the little cutout area. just like that. I put a little tape on the back to hold it in place, and I'm going to take the same colors, and I'm going to repeat my ink blending, and I'm going to create the transition from green into yellow. And to be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't do this to start. I think sometimes we tend to overthink things, right? And we make them complicated because maybe we saw someone do something and we thought, well, I want to do that. I don't know where my brain was, but this actually works. Creating that same blend on a die cut piece while it is still in place. And to make it shiny, well, guess what? I'm just going to color over it with a shimmer pen. Yes, I have this Aqua shimmer from Nuvo. This stuff is wonderful. It's really easy to control and it adds a lot of shine. I think this is what I was trying to do. It just kind of took me a while to get there, but I think this is just as nice. So I cut out the shadow layer with the shadow die and just put a bunch of little foam squares on the back because I'm going to pop it up. And now I'm just taking my liquid glue. This is the Connect glue from Gina. Just put a bunch of dots on there. And now I'm going to take my pretty ink blended piece, just one layer. I'm not even stacking this more than once because I thought, you know, it's got enough color that it's going to stand out, and I think that's really pretty. So that is what I was going for with the shiny glimmer pasty thing, but this one actually worked. Now I'm going to score my card base. This is going to be a top folding card, and I'm scoring it at 5.5, but I'm not going to fold it yet because what I want to do is take that BIXBY die, position it right in the lower, well, left-hand lower part of the card front and run it through so that I get this offset little panel with all this cute detail. And I just went ahead and poked out all of those little things using my foam pad. They popped out really easily. And look at that. Ah, so cute. Now I folded this, but here's where I started to second guess myself, but I thought, not sure what I want to do. I had another version that I was working on with some of that yellow cardstock in place, but then I thought, well, maybe it would look cooler to have it be see-through. You know what I mean? Have it be see-through on the panel. Decided to go ahead and get my little sentiment strip first. Now this is just a piece of sweet mango cardstock, also from Gina Designs. I'm prepping it with the embossing magic powder and just got my Versamark. I'm going to ink that stamp up. And the stamp I'm using on this card just says, here you go. I feel like that's, you know, again, generic enough for graduation because, you know, they're launching. Here they go. So I'm adding my embossing powder. This is the Alabaster from Brutus Monroe. Going to heat set that really quick. And there you go. Now for a little more predictability, I did pull out my favorite dies, the sentiment label banner dies from Simon Says Stamp, because, you know, if I had messed this up at this point, I probably would have had to walk away and curl up in a little ball on the floor, but I didn't. It cut beautifully. And here's a little tip. If you want perfectly spaced sentiment strips from side to side, you just line up your little letter right there. Hold down both of the cut guards and cut. And then what's great is you know that you've got equal amounts from side to side. So I popped that up on a little foam tape as well and just placed that down really quickly in place to get it nice and straight, and then added my Woot after taking the backers all of those foam pieces. Yes. But here's the problem. I'm going to put money in here. And I thought, would that look ugly if the money slipped down and then you could see? I mean, it's kind of cool that you can see through. But so here's what I did. I took another piece of cardstock, repeated that ink blend, and cut that piece to stick behind. So I glued it in with a little liquid glue. You know, sometimes you start out with one idea and you change your mind, and that's okay. And I also wanted to show you what I did do with the other card that had just the Gina K yellow in there. And what I decided to do with that was this. I did take a little Grad hat from another set, and it's essentially the same idea, but it's a little more monochromatic. Pretty basic, but there you go. One card, not really how I planned it, turned out pretty good, and another graduation card done and ready to go. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber, and I will see you back here with another card project, maybe with fewer errors or maybe not.